What if I told you that the symptoms you've been dismissing, the 3 a.m. wake ups, the anxiety that came out of nowhere, the brain fog, the irritability, the periods that are suddenly different, what if those weren't stress? What if those weren't just getting older? What if your body has been trying to tell you something and nobody gave you the vocabulary to understand it? I'm an OB-GYN. I spent years delivering babies, managing complex hormonal cases, and counseled hundreds of women through midlife transitions. And when perimenopause knocked on my door, I was completely caught off guard. The night sweats at 2 a.m., the brain fog that made me question my sharpness, the mood swings my husband so bravely pretended not to notice. I had explanations for all of it. Stress, a demanding career, raising 3 boys, life in general. But the real explanation, my hormones were shifting, and even I wasn't connecting the dots. Hi, I'm Dr. Terry Malcolm, board certified OB-GYN, women's health advocate, and a perimenopausal woman. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain. I'm sharing the 7 things I genuinely wish I had understood about perimenopause, not just as a physician, but as a woman living it in real time. Because here's the truth. Knowing the textbook version is very different from living the real version. So if you are in your late 30s or 40s and something just feels off, your sleep, your mood, your body, your mind, and you can't quite put your finger on why, stay with me. This one is for you. Thing number 1, it starts way earlier than you think. Let's start with the thing that honestly surprises most women, and full transparency, surprised me when I started experiencing it myself. Perimenopause can start in your late 30s. I know, that's not what any of us were told. For most women, the story we grew up hearing goes something like this. Menopause happens around 50, you'll know when it's coming, and you'll deal with it then. And technically, that's not wrong, because the average age of menopause in the United States is 50.5 years, and menopause itself is actually just one single day. It's the day you've officially gone 12 consecutive months without a period. One day. But perimenopause, the transition that leads up to that day, that can begin up to 10 years earlier. So think about what that means in real numbers. If you start menopause at 47, which is completely within the normal range, and symptoms can start up to a decade before that, we're talking 37 years old. 37, not 50. So that shift in your sleep at 40, that might not have just been stress. The anxiety that seemed to come out of nowhere at 42, that could have been hormonal. And if you were having periods, did your periods start getting a little off? Maybe heavier, lighter, closer together, or even further apart? Did that start in your late 30s? Your body was already beginning its transition. I'll be honest with you, looking back, my symptoms started in my early 40s, and I had an explanation for every single one of them. Stress. I had plenty of that. My husband and I both had demanding careers, and we were raising 3 boys amidst commuting. Don't get me started. Life was lifey. We were in the full midst of what seemed like chaos at the time, and life was stressful. And because I had those explanations ready, I did what so many women do. I dismissed the signals my body was sending me. Sound familiar? Because here's what I've learned, both as a physician and as a woman living through this. The symptoms of perimenopause are incredibly easy to explain away. And our culture doesn't exactly make it easy to connect the dots. Nobody sits you down at 38 and says, hey, heads up, your hormones are about to start shifting. Here's what to watch for. So that's exactly why I'm here with you today. The biggest takeaway from thing number 1 is this. Don't wait until your 50s to start paying attention. If your sleep is changing, if your mood feels different, if your cycle is shifting, your body is not broken and you are not imagining it. You are getting signals. Learn to listen to them, and you deserve to know what they mean. Thing number 2, Perimenopause is not just hot flashes. Okay, I need to talk about the hot flash. Not because it isn't real, it absolutely is real, but because somewhere along the way, the hot flash became the mascot of menopause. You know, the meme, the movie scene where a woman is dramatically fanning herself at a dinner party and everybody else is perfectly temperate, cool. And what that means is that everything else got left out of the conversation. When I say that the symptom list for perimenopause is vast, I want you to actually hear that word, vast. We were talking about 34 recognized symptoms. So much longer than anyone warned me, and I was the one who was supposed to be doing the warning. Let me give you a taste of what's actually on that list, because I promise some of these are going to stop you mid-sentence thinking, wait, that's happening to me. Irregular periods, heavier, lighter, closer together, further apart. Sleep disruption, not just trouble falling asleep, but waking up in the middle of the night at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., completely wired and unable to get back to sleep. Brain fog, memory changes, walking into a room and having absolutely no idea why. Mood shifts, anxiety, depression, or what I can only describe as a completely disproportionate, out of nowhere rage that catches you off guard. Heart palpitations, joint pain, fatigue, itchy ears, itchy skin, changes in libido, vaginal dryness, hair thinning, changes in skin elasticity. The list is extensive. Now, I want to stop on joint pain for just a moment because this one gets me. I started noticing a pattern, women mentioning joint pain almost as an aside, just casually, like it wasn't relevant to their clinical picture. And something made me start connecting it to their hormonal picture. And here's the clinical reality. Estrogen has receptors in joint tissue. When estrogen levels drop, inflammation can increase. And that's not a theory, that's physiology. And what really breaks my heart a little bit is these women had already been referred to specialists. They were already seeing rheumatologists. They were already seeing other physicians and maybe getting steroid injections or started on pain medications, and they were getting some short-term relief, but then they ended up coming back to square one because nobody was asking them about their hormones, and nobody told me that either. And I thought, I have a medical degree, I did the residency and passed the boards, and I saw the patients, and still there were pieces of this picture that my training just simply didn't hand me. That's not me throwing my education under the bus or any physician that is treating women with the tools that they have in their doctor bag. It's just me being honest about a gap in how we've been taught to talk about women's health and why so many women spend years getting passed from doctor to doctor, specialist to specialist before someone finally starts asking different questions. So here's what I want you to take away from thing number 2. If you are sitting with a collection of symptoms that feel weird, disconnected, and unrelated, symptoms that someone just keeps filing under stress or getting older, push back. Ask about your hormones. Ask specifically about perimenopause. Bring in a list if you have to. You're not being dramatic. You're not falling apart. You are simply in a hormonal transition that nobody has formally named for you yet. Number 3, sleep problems are a hormone problem. If your sleep is falling apart, your hormones may be the reason, and fixing your sleep hygiene alone may not be enough. For about a year, I was waking up at 2 a.m. every single night. I wasn't groggy. I wasn't drifting back off. I was wide awake, tired and wired at the same time. Then I had to get up out of bed at 4:30 to get my boys to their morning practice. I told myself it was my schedule, my stress, my life, all the demands upon me. But I was wrong. Here's what was actually happening. Progesterone has natural sedative properties. It helps you stay in deep restorative sleep. And when it drops in perimenopause, that protective effect drops with it. Layer in declining estrogen, which triggers night sweats that jolt you awake, and you have a perfect hormonal storm hitting your sleep from 2 directions at once. Now, sleep hygiene still matters. So a cool, dark, quiet room, following a consistent bedtime, do all of it, do all the things. But if the root cause is hormonal, hygiene alone won't fix it. And the research backs this up. Studies show menopausal hormone therapy can significantly improve sleep quality in perimenopausal women, not just by reducing night sweats, but by directly supporting sleep architecture. This isn't about sleeping pills, it's about treating the root cause. If you are waking up in the middle of the night and you can't go back to sleep, or if your sheets and your pillow are drenched, that is not anxiety. That is not aging, that is data. So write it down and bring it to your doctor. Number 4, mental health changes are hormonal, not weakness. I want you to really hear this. The anxiety, the mood shifts, the sudden sadness, or maybe even rage that seems to come from nowhere, these are not signs that you're falling apart. They are biological, they are hormonal, and they are real. Estrogen directly influences serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. Now, these are neurotransmitters that regulate mood, motivation, and anxiety. As estrogen fluctuates and eventually declines, the neurological impact can be significant. Research shows that the perimenopausal window is actually a period of increased vulnerability for depression, even in women with no prior history. I say this not to alarm you, but to validate you. If you've been told it's just stress, or maybe you need therapy, therapy can be helpful. But if hormonal dysregulation is the root cause, addressing the hormones matters too. Both can be true. You deserve a provider who looks at the whole picture. And please, if you are struggling with depression or anxiety, talk to someone you trust and who won't judge you, a professional who can help you through this, who can help you navigate a profound biological transition and give you the support that you deserve. Number 5, muscle is medicine in midlife. I want to talk about something that changed the way I practice medicine, and honestly, it changed the way I live my own life. And it's not a supplement and it's not a lab test. It's muscle. Here's what most women in their late 30s and 40s have been told about exercise. Do some cardio, watch your calories, stay at a healthy weight. Maybe you've been a runner. Maybe you do yoga or you go to a boot camp class once or twice a week. Maybe you've been faithful to your daily walks and felt pretty darn good about that. And all of that counts. I'm not going to discredit movement because daily movement is essential to your overall health. Full stop. But here's what I wish someone had told me and what I now want every woman to know. In perimenopause, muscle isn't just about how you look. Muscle is literally protecting your health. Let me explain what's happening biologically, because once you understand the why, everything changes. Women achieve peak muscle mass in their early 30s, and if you do nothing, absolutely nothing to preserve it, you will lose muscle at a rate of 3 to 8% per decade. So estrogen is anabolic, meaning it actually helps your body build and maintain muscle mass. It supports bone density. It plays a role in how your body stores and uses fat. It even influences insulin sensitivity, how well your cells respond to blood sugar. When estrogen starts to decline in perimenopause, you begin losing that biological assist. That's why women in midlife can feel like their body composition is shifting, even when nothing about their diet or routine has changed, because something has changed. The hormonal environment that was quietly working in your favor, it's shifting. So what do we do about it? We build muscle intentionally, consistently, through resistance training at the center of the plan. Not just because of the aesthetics, though feeling strong in your body and looking good is a beautiful side effect, but because muscle tissue is metabolically active. It burns more energy at rest, it improves insulin sensitivity, it supports healthy blood sugar regulation, it protects your joints, it maintains your balance and coordination as you age, and muscle protects your bones. After menopause, women can lose up to 20% of their bone density in the first 5 to 7 years. Osteoporosis isn't something that happens to unlucky women. It is a predictable consequence of hormonal change that we can actively work against. And one of the most powerful tools we have against it is load-bearing exercise, lifting weights, resistance bands, body weight work, anything that asks your bones and muscles to work against gravity. When your muscles pull against your bones respond by getting denser. That's not motivation poster science, that's physiology. So if you are not already incorporating resistance training into your routine, this is your sign to start. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need to become a competitive lifter. You just need 2 to 3 strength training sessions a week, progressively challenge your muscles, and the consistency to show up for yourself. Make strength training a non-negotiable. So think of it this way. Every rep you do today is a deposit into your future health account. Your bones, your metabolism, your brain, your mood, they are all drawing from that account. Midlife is not the time to go smaller, it's the time to get stronger. Number 6, hormone therapy is not the villain it was made out to be. This one requires us to do a little history together, so let's take a trip in the time machine and go back to 2002. Because the fear around hormone therapy that many women carry today is largely based on a single, now heavily revised study from 2002. The Women's Health Initiative was a randomized, controlled, double-blinded study that was abruptly stopped in 2002 because the initial reports showed increased risk of breast cancer and stroke with hormone therapy. Headlines exploded and prescriptions plummeted overnight. Women literally threw their pills in the trash, and understandably so. But here's what happened next, and this part rarely makes the headlines. The results were unadjudicated, so researchers took a closer look. Over the following 20 years, the data was reanalyzed, the nuance emerged, and the medical community came to understand that the risk had been significantly overstated, particularly for younger, healthier women starting therapy early in the menopause transition. I was trained in that post-2002 climate. I was taught lowest dose, shortest time, only for severe symptoms. And that guidance has even changed. Today, major medical organizations, including the Menopause Society and the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology, now support hormone therapy as a safe and effective option for most healthy women under 60 who are within 10 years of menopause onset. The evidence since 2002 has been extensive and it has been reassuring. Is hormone therapy right for everyone? No, it's not. Are there contraindications? Yes, there are, but your doctor should review them with you personally. The reflexive fear that has kept millions of women suffering silently for years, that needs to be retired. You deserve an informed conversation about every option available to you. Don't let a headline from 2002 make your healthcare decisions in 2026. Number 7, you need a provider who specializes in this. So this brings me to the final and the most important thing I want you to leave with today. Perimenopause and menopause management are specialties, and you deserve a specialist. You need someone who understands this stage of life. I say this with deep respect for primary care clinicians. They carry an enormous load. But menopause medicine is a complex, evolving field, and the average medical school curriculum dedicates very little time to it. Surveys of OB-GYN residents have shown that many feel unprepared to counsel women and treat women on menopause management. And many women feel dismissed, rushed, or told to just deal with it. You should not have to fight to be heard about your own body. You should not have to bring a stack of printed research to justify your symptoms. You deserve a provider who is up to date on the evidence, who listens to the full picture, and who partners with you on solutions, whether that's lifestyle changes, hormone therapy, non-hormonal options, or some combination. And that's exactly why I created a telehealth practice, Dr. Terry Malcolm, Wellness for Life, to help women navigate their menopausal journey with knowledge, confidence, and strength. Because this gap is real, and it matters. So those are my 7, my honest confessions from the intersection of medical training and personal experience. And if even one of them made you feel less alone, less confused, or more ready to advocate for yourself, then this video did exactly what I hoped it would. Here's what I want you to do right now. 1, subscribe to this channel. If you found this helpful, please like the video, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the channel. Every week, I'm going to bring you evidence-based, real talk content about women's health in midlife. No fluff, no fear-mongering, just the truth so you can navigate midlife with confidence. 2, drop a comment below and tell me which of these 7 resonated most with you. I read every single comment and respond back. And 3, if you're ready to work with a physician who truly understands this transition, my telehealth practice, Wellness for Life, is launching in June. The link is in the description. I am really excited to offer this service to women. You can schedule a free discovery call with me, and I would be honored to be part of your care team. Thanks for tuning in. This channel exists because you deserve better, better information, better care, and better conversations about your health. I'll see you in the next video.